Another Premier League weekend goes by, another miserable one for Manchester United fans on the results side of things. Beaten today by Brentford. But before the kickoff, there was news circulating about a Brentford player now being a top target for Manchester United. BRYAN and Bumo, who did play well against Manchester United in the fixture today, is now reportedly a target for Manchester United, and they have entered the race. I'll talk about that and that story. Before that one came out, though, as the warm-up was going on, Manchester United apparently have now been approached. Well, Raasmus Hojlund has, by Juventus. Concrete interest in him as well. The transfer merry-go-round continues here on Forever United TV, everybody, and I've got you completely updated as well. We may touch on what happened earlier as well at Manchester United, but as always, we like to bring you the news as and when it happens on FUTV. So here it is in full, everybody. Get into the live comment section. Get into the comment section when this video is finished. If you're not watching live and playing catch up maybe later on tonight, you might have gone out for a walk to try and get over another Premier League defeat for Manchester United. And Ruben Amar's record continues to get worse and worse and worse in the Premier League. It is starting to mount in terms of pressure, and so much is on this Thursday night for Manchester United. Indeed, it will have to be a successful midweek period from now until the end of the season for Manchester United, because the majority of our games are actually now in the middle of the week. We have a Thursday, we have a Wednesday, hopefully, which is the final, and a Friday kickoff. Chelsea, who have just beaten Liverpool 3-1, in fact, and are chasing top four. Not much hope for that game either for Manchester United. I'm going to be honest. And that pressure is going to mount onto the Europa League because United need to change this team. It's quite clear that we do. Manchester United's targets, however, will be dependent on how much money we can spend. And BRYAN and Bumo, a massive, massive signing for somebody this summer who's got 1 year left on his contract, is now a target for Manchester United as well. In fact, Mike McGrath of The Telegraph has come out today just before kickoff and said United have entered the race to sign BRYAN and Bumo. Now, this man's price tag seems to keep on going up and up and up. He is worth £50 million of anybody's money and where he's at right now. He's up there in the top 5 goal scorers in the Premier League this season. He's had an outstanding season. He is creative, he's strong, he's experienced, he's savvy. He is a great finisher as well. The composure I think this man has got is something that Manchester United lack drastically. And you know what? If Liam Delap is kicking up a stink and Manchester United fans wanted an experienced forward and somebody a little bit more in the, well, somebody who scored a lot more goals in the Premier League than Liam Delap has and would give us probably that little extra bit of zest in a couple of different positions because he can play 9 and 10 and wide, then maybe BRYAN and Bumo's the one to go for. It goes against what I was saying. If you're looking for a striker, BRYAN and Bumo's not my man. If you're looking for a 10, you could argue, yes, a versatile hybrid. How many of them do Man United need? That's the problem right now, because the price tag that Mike McGrath in The Telegraph has said Manchester United are going to have to pay is now 60 million quid. Now, I'm sorry. If it's 60 million quid, then I'm saying bye-bye BRYAN. I mean, he is a good striker, but you've got 1 year left on your contract. And I'm sorry, Brentford. Yes, well done, Thomas Frank. He played a blinder tactically today in knowing how to beat Manchester United, pump balls into the box and get in and amongst us. It works because we are weak. But let's be honest, you're very limited in what you do. And BRYAN and Bumo, a player of that quality, doesn't belong at Brentford. Now, you can do whatever you can to try and cling on to whatever price you want, but I don't think anybody's going near 60 million for BRYAN and Bumo, especially when you can get the likes of Gyökeres and Osimhen for the same price. I'm sorry, no. If it comes down 50 million, maybe interested. But again, it's another one of them versatile 10s that Manchester United don't need. It's not an out-and-out striker, but he is a quality player. I mean, that's why I'm asking the question. I've got the poll up right now. Would you go in for BRYAN and Bumo? It's 60 million quid. Would you pay that money for him? We'll check on that poll shortly as well. But that was the news in and around Manchester United today before the game was coming about. Obviously, Mike McGrath also has broke the news before the game, knowing that Brentford are playing Manchester United. There's a good chance that BRYAN and Bumo will have a good game. And I know how the media work. I know how they play this card. So really, when I look at BRYAN and Bumo and what the Telegraph have said here, I think it is in line with Manchester United showing a little bit of an interest maybe a few months ago in BRYAN Bumo, a little muted interest in him. Oh, Brentford are playing United today. I bet BRYAN Bumo has a great game. Let's just sneak this little bit of news in now. Now, United do have an interest in BRYAN Bumo. We know this. United have contacted Brentford before, know where we stand. Thomas Frank has been very open about where BRYAN Bumo was going in January, which was bleeding nowhere unless someone came in with a mega bid, which nobody had the money for in January. But now we know that going into the last year of his contract this summer, BRYAN Bumo will leave. He will be leaving Brentford this summer. And I think some of the media have put 2 and 2 together here to make a story out of nothing. There is an element of that there. We all have always known that Manchester United have looked at BRYAN Bumo. I just think that Matheus Cunha is Manchester United's man, and that's the target that Manchester United have got all in on. Now, it also says that BRYAN Bumo and the interest in Bumo is separate and independent to the Matheus Cunha deal. Now, that is an interesting line on top, which is why it makes me think it is slightly different. And yeah, I can say what I want and say they've put this together, the media, and I do think there's an element of that in terms of timing. They have to get it right, and they know what they're doing. But the line that he's also put in there, Mike McGrath, on him being independently looked at separate, or basically, the money for BRYAN Bumo is separate, and it's not going to be anything that's scuppered by a Matheus Cunha deal. I think what he's trying to say there is that United are now not looking for another target because the Matheus Cunha deal has gone south. We all know that Cunha is going to be a Manchester United player. The difference here is, again, it's who is leaving Manchester United, because today Ganacho turned up and Ganacho played well today. And I think is really understanding now that his place is in jeopardy, and he's going to have to start digging in a little bit more and doing a lot more for Manchester United. I think that's the reality for Ganacho right now. But BRYAN Bumo coming in, he's just another level, a different type of player again. And unless he's playing number 9, I don't see where he fits. I just don't. I mean, like, you look at Manchester United, you look at the players that we've got in around it. We've talked about it forever and a day. And now we're looking at another player in Bumo who's playing exactly the same position as Mount is, as what Ahmad could do, and Bruno and Ganacho. And I don't see it. I really just don't see how BRYAN Bumo fits in at Manchester United. I cannot see how Manchester United, first of all, get together 60 million. Even if we make the Champions League, are we really going to go and spend 60 million on BRYAN Bumo, a number 10/wide player, when we've got other targets in place? That, I think, is the one thing that's stopping this deal. It's the priority position side of things. And I just don't see Manchester United going out of their way to bring in another player in that position. I don't. I really don't. And I like BRYAN Bumo. I think he is underrated in the Premier League, and I think he's a quality player. I really do. And he played excellently today. His hold-up play is absolutely brilliant. And his strength, and he's just got that know-how. He just knows what to do at the right time, and that is gold. And I can understand why United would be interested in that, but I think it is all about timing. The only thing that makes me think there is anything in it is, like I just said there, BRYAN Bumo separate and independent to the Matheus Cunha deal. Why would Mike McGrath of the Telegraph say that? McGrath of the Telegraph. Why would he say that? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there is something deep lying in this, and maybe Manchester United are moving on a few players in some. I get it's all guesswork at this stage with it, but I'm looking at players like Mount. I didn't think he was horrendous today. Obviously, you've got Ahmad coming back into fog. Garnacho's playing well. Xerxes is going to come back. Bruno didn't play today. And Mainoo's better at number 10. Definitely not a number 8 after watching him today. Again, like, you've got to make some big decisions. And this is the problem Manchester United have had. It's like bringing in these players and not bringing them in to fit right into the first team. Oh, but we've got to play Cobby, though. We've got to play Alejandro Garnacho ahead of him, though. We can't leave them out. And then you've wasted money on a player that isn't really contributing enough to your team. And that's where Manchester United summer has to prioritise itself. It's got to be in players that are going to come into Manchester United's first team and change that mentality, which we saw today. We saw where Manchester United's weaknesses were today. It's going front way, great stuff. We shouldn't be here, though. Let's just capitulate and get back to being behind again, and then try and claw it back. And then try and take a little bit of credit out at the end of the game, because it was close. Look, I said it earlier on, United didn't deserve. I didn't think we deserved to lose today. I didn't. And Ruben Amar's played a team there that you'd expect him to play. He's resting players for the week. And I get it. I do. The pressure is on him now. The record is horrendous. And I've said it all along. Look, Ruben's not going to be sacked at the end of the season. So anybody thinking he's gone just needs to take a little step back and sit down and take a breath. Because he's going to be here at the start of next season. He's going to get money spent on him in the summer. You have to accept it. And I've said it all along. If he isn't up and amongst the top 6 challenging after about 10 games in around October going into November time, I think the pressure will start to really mount. I don't want to say this, but I'm just going to say it. I've been backing it up all along. If he's not up there competing, that's it. I think he'll end up getting the boot, sorry. I really do. He needs to make sure that this summer is bang on the money. Let's get some comments in on BRYAN and Bumo and get the general chat going with the live chat right now, everybody. Please do get into the live chat. If you are liking the content that we are putting out there at the moment, then please pop a like on the video, everybody. Make sure that you do, of course, hit that subscribe button as well. We did just pass 77k, so yes, please do get hitting that subscribe button as well. Make sure you get behind the channel, get your comments in. More importantly, that's where we're going right now. Let's see what we've got. Zane with a super chat straight away says that you will get 40 points this season. Will you get 40 points this season? No idea, mate. Graham has come back at Zane with another super chat and said, Zane, will Arsenal win anything this season? I'll let them have their tit for tat and get in there. Peter says, Adam, I think MBEUMO might be brought in because he would be better than some of the players. I think you're supposed to say they're playing right now and not getting injury prone. And Bumo, let's see what else we've got in here as well. Edison and Osman should beat priority with Cunha and the goalkeeper. Thursday, here we come. And Bumo isn't the first choice, but better than other options if we want to improve our forward line. And Bumo, Eze, Mateta, all would improve Manchester United. And Graham says, enjoy the game today. Away end was epic. I will enjoy winning at Brentford when it happens again. Yep. I love Ruben Amar and I want to give him every chance with his own choices, but I think he is underestimated the Premier League and has a lot to learn. Look, next season he's not going to be able to get away with this. He's had his full grace period and abused his full grace period, and I mean abused it. Like even an average manager should have got more points than what we have got in the time Ruben's been here. Now, the difference with Ruben Amar and what I've always backed him with is what he's done behind the scenes, how he's dealt with certain players, and how he has actually cut off the negative culture around Manchester United. No, that's not helping us on the pitch right now. No, I know it's not. And when you look at it, Manchester United right now are a laughingstock. And everybody's laughing at this, the new coming of Ruben Amar and laughing at United fans because we're all thinking that Ruben is going to change everything and we're going to start improving. Look, if he wins the Europa League, he's got out of jail a little bit. And that, I think, is where Manchester United are at. And what our eggs are firmly in the Europa League basket. We all know this. He is not going to get this time and grace next season. He's abused every single get out of jail moment that he could have. And he knows it. He knows it. This was the risk and the sacrifice he was willing to make. He knew what was coming. He knew by looking at these players. And a few games in, he realised instantly that he wasn't going to be able to get these players to play the way that he wanted. But he also made the decision not to sacrifice his own style and stick with it at the risk of losing more games. So that's on him. So with new players in and a better squad next season, will Ruben Amar do better? That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And that's what he's going to have to answer. Otherwise, he will be gone before Christmas. Because this form cannot continue in the league. There are moments that we can cling on to and positives, like I said before in my match review, that Manchester United can look at and go, there is something there. Yes, there is. And if we win the Europa League, it's going to carry him a hell of a long way. But the Premier League, we cannot sit here week in, week out saying, let's wait till Thursday. Let's wait till Wednesday. It's all better in Europe. It's a different intensity. We seem to adapt better. Adapt and find a way of winning Premier League games. Manchester United did have standards, and them standards have dropped. Ruben has just about got enough grace period to get through the rest of this season. 3 more games I have to sit through in the Premier League this season. Honestly, I cannot wait for it to be over. And Bumo, players like this, these transfer rumours that are floating around right now are all because Manchester United are desperately on the hunt to change this team. Maybe it's because Manchester United are so bad and they can see what they're up against. If they're going to back their manager, they have to back him by getting rid and bringing in. Otherwise, it's not backing him. You can say you're right behind him forever and a day, but if these results carry on, then Ruben will be out the door anyway, and it's not backing him. The only way that they back him this summer is by getting rid of the right players and bringing in quality players who can handle what Ruben wants. And that's where the recruitment team has to go into overdrive. And on that note as well, the other news that was going around before the game today was on Raasmus Hojlund. Now, Daniele Longo, the Italian journalist, covering a lot of Juventus' transfer stories, and they did do a lot with United, considering the interest from Italian clubs over the last couple of windows, to and fro-ing, obviously, between United and different, like, for instance, Bologna with Xerxes, Napoli with Ganacho and McTominay. Other different deals that could have gone down as well. He's been all over it, and he says that Juventus now have entered into concrete talks. They've made the first move on Raasmus Hojlund and are definitely in for him and want to beat everybody to the signing. There is real appeal for Raasmus in Italy. He still holds a lot of credit there. I've said this before, I know, and I don't want to repeat myself on this to try to make this sound like it is a deal that could happen, but let's be clear on this right now. There is still serious talks, and Romano himself has said this as well. It's not a closed book with Raasmus Hojlund this summer. Manchester United will sell him if the right offer comes in. This is backing. If they're going to be serious and go with a manager, no matter what's happening right now, because it's going to look very embarrassing on Ineos, it's going to be an absolute disaster for them, and everybody will judge them on their big decisions that they've made. Their first huge decision was keeping Ten Hag, and that was wrong. They regretted it instantly. They then brought in Ruben Amar and brought him in the middle of a season to try and turn this team around. Now, if you don't use that moment of bringing him in, allowing him to do what he's doing right now, and then not back him by getting rid of the shit that needs to be gotten rid of in the summer, and then it was pointless employing him in the first place. It really was. They have to go some in the summer, Ineos and Manchester United, to get Ruben Amar moving. Otherwise, it was an even worse decision bringing him in when they did than it was keeping Ten Hag in the summer. That's how drastic it is, this transfer window, and what needs to happen right now. So when these rumours come around, this is the only hope that I've got. As a United fan right now, this is the only hope that I've got, that they are really looking at the situation with Ruben Amar. And if they don't do this, then everything that they have done so far in terms of appointments for managers and players that they've brought in has been a out-and-out disaster for Manchester United. And that is facts. Because everything that they bought for Erik Ten Hag, really, was worthless because they brought Ruben Amar in. Now, Amar has got movement out of some of these players, but they're still not gelling together. They know exactly what he needs. They know exactly what type of player he needs. They know exactly how he wants to play. And this is what a football structure is supposed to do. If they don't get it right, it's going to be embarrassing for Ineos, because they're the ones that are going to have to get rid of Ruben Amar next season. And the Raasmus Hojlund news, the MBEUMO, the Cunha, the Lapt, all of the Gyökeres and everything else that's going on right now, I'm looking at that and I'm saying Manchester United right now are making the right moves. But like everyone said in the chat there, proof will be in the pudding and then in the eating. And that is this summer and what players come in. A lot of people are giving up on Ruben Amar right now. There's lots of different Manchester United fans that are just giving up. They are not willing to accept this form in the Premier League. Some going as far as to say if it was Ten Hag in, everyone would be calling for his head. I've said before, the only difference with Ten Hag is he had over 2 years with 3 summer transfer windows. And Ruben Amar's had nothing. That's the only thing. Again, going into the summer, this is why it's so important for Manchester United to get it right and to make sure that these signings are the right type of signings that are going to fit Ruben Amar's system. Otherwise, it is just another embarrassment, and Manchester United are a laughingstock again. That result today has just put massive amounts of pressure onto the game on Thursday night and United winning the Europa League. We're not. I don't think we could. I think we possibly are going to beat West Ham. We could possibly beat West Ham on Sunday, this time next week. That's it. We won't beat Villa and we won't beat Chelsea. Because if we do win this Thursday, the Europa League is sandwiched in between the last two games. The final, that is. And United will be resting players on the Friday against Chelsea. Chelsea chasing Champions League football. They will see that as a great opportunity to pick up 3 points in a very difficult running for them. Fantastic result for Chelsea today, beating Liverpool. But Chelsea will beat us at Stamford Bridge. And Aston Villa will beat us at Old Trafford because they could still be chasing something as well. And obviously, we'll have known by the end of that week, before we go into the Aston Villa game, if we're in the Champions League or not. And honestly, I pray that United win that trophy, because that game against Aston Villa on the last day of the season, and Ruben Amar goes into that with another defeat and no European football next season, that on the fan base, the knives, honestly, the knives have already been sharpened. There's an arsenal of arrows and weapons there ready to go to cut Ruben Amar down. That's what's waiting there right now. And the fan base, I can feel it. The people I speak to, the people that message me, the direct messages, everyone in the comment section, they're all ready for his head. They're all ready for it. They're waiting. It's like they know what's coming. The only people that can sort this, rectify it, is them above. And the only way you do it, and it doesn't matter if you win the Europa League or not, is by getting rid of certain players that are already in this football club that are just simply not good enough. Winning a cup does not warrant the quality necessary to be a Manchester United player. It doesn't. I've said it numerous times. This big piece of paper which is covering this gaping crack through Manchester United right now is about to rip for good, and we've run out. There's no more paper to cover it. The Europa League is the last bit of paper. And then everybody's going to say, well, we've won the League Cup, we've won the FA Cup, we've won the Europa League before. That's just covering up all of the cracks of the Premier League. When are we going to start seeing United challenge in that top four? That's the next question. Raasmus Hojlund is not good enough. Make a decision on Ganacho. A good game today doesn't warrant him staying at Manchester United. If he's not going to fit into Ruben's system, he needs to be sold. I'm not saying that Ganacho deserves to be sold off the back of today's performance. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I thought Ganacho was decent today, and I said that in my vlog earlier on. And I give him the praise that he deserved. I thought he was at it. He really was. There were a few good performances by United today, but there was clearly an issue within this team that doesn't work with certain players, and it's not working for Amarim. So you've got to fix it somehow. You've got to take out the good players and replace them with very good players. You've got to get rid of the shit and replace that with very good players. It's not you going one up from each one. You've got a load of different levels at Manchester United right now. You've got the average, you've got the good, you've got the very good, you've got the excellent. And there's very few in the excellent and very good. It's all good to average, in my opinion. And you cannot just replace an average player with a good player. You need to replace an average player with a very good player. If you're getting rid of a very good player that just doesn't fit into our side and our system, he needs to be replaced with an excellent player that's going to fit right into Ruben's system. If Ganacho is sold, his replacement needs to be someone who's going to start for Manchester United. It's as simple as that. That's the kind of open heart surgery that Ralph Rangnick was talking about. He did go back and say they needed some basic changes, but since then they've spent nearly 700 million and they've got worse. Thanks, Ralph. Yeah, and again, until you get down to the core of the problem, it's always going to be there. We're just looking at players and we're building players up like they are better than what they are. There's very few players at Manchester United that have got a level. The Ganacho will turn up every so often. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. Raasmus Hojlund got a goal against Bournemouth. Yes. He improved against Bilbao. Yes. I praised him for his goal and for that performance against Bilbao. But do it next week. Do it the week after. Do it the week after that. Keep on doing it. He hasn't got the capability of doing that. I'll always say after every single game, I'll say what I see. The eye test is the one and true honest test and the one that you judge everything off. You know what you're watching. And you can see what you're watching. You can see ineptitude at the highest level. And these players don't belong. A lot of them just don't belong. And we are clinging on to pulling 2 goals back. And I did it myself today. Didn't deserve to lose the game. Didn't deserve to lose to Brentford. That's where my level is at right now. I'm just talking about the game in general. And then when you look back at it and you break everything down, you take a second to sit down and actually look at everything that's gone down, you start to think like, whoa, hang on a minute. We didn't deserve to lose to Brentford. That's how I'm talking now. Instead of going, cannot believe we didn't score 4 goals today. We should have really bumped up our goal difference. Remember them days? It's like all these Chelsea fans bitching and moaning right now about where they're at with Maresca. Like, seriously? Like you're into a cup final. Yes, not the most prestigious. You're in the top 4. You've just beaten the champions. Well, come back from behind against Fulham as well. Obviously, you beat, I can't even remember who it was they played the other day. But they've won the last 3 Premier League games and propelled themselves right into contention when everybody was picking them, including myself, as the one team to drop out of that top 4. This is the difference. This is where they are. This is where United are. We used to be talking like that. I would love to be talking with issues that Chelsea have got right now. Honestly, they have actually got value in their squad. They've got depth in their squad. They're missing a few key elements. And that, for me, is where we're actually at right now. It is like having to accept a whole new low. That's Manchester United standards. Not for me, I know. And again, like, I want to give the manager all the time that I gave Erik ten Hag. And I would still. But I want to see massive improvements because no manager has been given the grace period like Ruben Amar has been given this season. And that is losing all of these games. That's the problem that he's got. You cannot finish where we are in the league table as Manchester United. It's just not acceptable. I'm just going to have a quick look at the league table right now just to make myself feel so much better. And yeah, as I see it right now, Man United 35 games in, 10 wins, 9 draws, 16 defeats, 42 goals scored and 51 conceded. That's a -9 goal difference with no wins in the last 5. Since Man United came back from international break after that 3-0 win against Leicester, Manchester United have not won a game, which is it's ridiculous. Honestly, right now, Manchester United's form is worse than Leicester's form. It's the same as Ipswich form. It's 1 point better than the worst team in the Premier League era. Southampton, 1 point better. That's Manchester United since we come back from the international break. And that was in March. It's frightening. Absolutely frightening. It's not acceptable. This trophy, if we get it, the Europa League, it is going to save us. It's going to save us so much aggro and I think heartache going into this summer, because without it, Manchester United, in a weird way, I've said this all along, in a weird way, United, if we don't win the Europa League, will force the issue more than winning the Europa League. I still want to win the Europa League. For God's sake, I want to win the Europa League more than anything right now. But deep down inside me, there's that little voice telling me, saying that if United don't win the Europa League, it might actually be better for the long run of this football club. That we will have to make the real tough decisions that may get brushed aside if we've got a little bit more money to spend. Fast tracking into the Champions League next season is a bonus for Manchester United. We heard what Omar Barada said in his projections. Next 4 years, not including this next season, so the next 5 years of being in the Europa League. This is what our financial projections are estimated at. That's what we're looking for. The Champions League is a real bonus for Manchester United. And I think there is a real opportunity to take advantage of being back in the Champions League with the signings we could make this summer, because they will go a long way to propelling United up that table there. The best thing about that table right now, when you look at all of the stats, forget the form, the points, worst ever, goal difference, worst ever, defensive performance, worst ever, attack, amount of losses, worst ever, There is one great stat on that table there, and it comes right on the front of it. I know I'm not talking about being 15th. I'm talking 35 games played and only freaking 3 games left to watch. That's the best stat on that whole table for Man United, because this has been the most torturous, pathetic excuse of a Premier League campaign by what once was the biggest club on the planet. Not anymore. And this is what I'm talking about. All of that and everything that I've just said, that's what Ruben's got right now. And that's why he won't get as long as Erik ten Hag, because he has abused that grace period. And I love him. I still want him. I do. But I understand what everybody else is saying. I do. I get it. And if he's sacked, I'm not surprised at all. I'm not. And I said it. My prediction is, unless he's in amongst it, and that's in with about 10 games gone, he's in around that top 6 and competing up there, or just in amongst all of the points and a few points away from the Champions League places. Unless he's there, I think he's out the door. I think he's gone before Christmas. It's scary to say it. It really is scary to say it. But and that, I think, is just Manchester United starting over again. And I don't know who comes in after him or what we do or what sort of system we play. Right, I've been said enough there. I've gone on for quite a bit on that one. So I'm going to come into the comment section and get a load of juice from you lots. There's going to be some absolute brutal ones in here. And I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to go through as many as I possibly can right now. And get your comments in on everything that I've said. You might have missed a comment that I'm reading out right now. And I haven't commented on it yourself yet. But he sets the team up to lose every week and our fan base just accept it, says Red Army Reactions. Nico says, I'm tired of being patient. None of our youth players are world class. We need a new setup. We're trying to make it, but you have to be patient with that. Another rebuild, surely. This has to be the last. It would be nice to have a proper team. It would. That's from Babs. TripleM says, there are some fickle Man United fans out there only here for the glory. I think every Man United fan has got the right to voice an opinion, mate. I get what you're saying, TripleM. Like, deep down, a lot of these fans don't like saying what they're saying, but they're just being honest with how they feel. Like, you cannot ignore the fact that we've lost 16 games this season and you're not happy about it. We shouldn't have to accept this with the amount of players that we've got and the squad that we've got. That's what we're saying, I think, a lot of people anyway. Who would be next Man United manager? United are the Liz Taylor of football. Red Army Reactions also said, if we won the league, it would be because of Amorim. If we were bottom of the league, it's because of the players. Not really, mate. No, I don't think so. I think, obviously, we're all talking about bringing in the right type of players. So if we won the league, it's clearly because we brought in the right players and we got a recruitment team. That's been the whole story all along here on what we've talked about on FUTV. Red Army Reactions, what do you want him to do? Risk our better players getting injured and then losing the Europa League? If we didn't win the Europa League, we are beyond in trouble. No, look, guys, we weren't expecting to win the Europa League. We were going to say the Europa League was lucky. 2 months ago, everyone was saying, yeah, maybe if we win it. But right now, we're looking at a transfer window having finished in our worst ever Premier League position. That's what everyone was talking about. All of a sudden, because we've gone far in the competition, everyone thinks we can win it, and it is solely reliant on it. I don't believe that Manchester United's transfer window is based around winning the Europa League. I think there is a plan there, and it stays the same. The bonus with extra money of the Champions League is obviously going to help Manchester United, but this is what I mean. I think I just sometimes I worry, and it will be a real test for Manchester United in the summer if we do get the Champions League, not to veer away from the original plan, which is without any European football. I think that's the plan, and that's how we are recruiting right now. If we get European football next season, then I just hope we don't swerve away from it, is what I'm saying. Hopefully they stick to the original. We played well at the beginning and at the end, but what about the middle? That's dead right, Babs. 100% right on that one. There's never a full 90 minutes with this team, is there? Current dross we have can play in Europe. They aren't good enough to do it in the league. Talk is cheap. Jim Radcliffe will not put up with this. Not a chance in hell. Well, he's the one doing the talking at the moment as well, don't forget. And Eva did Pereira, Slot, Moy, Silva and Howe. No excuse for all these losses. So we got Chelsea fans that kept their standards while Man United fans went soft. Why are so many people being so overreactional today? Reactionary today? I think it's 16 defeats, mate. Probably more than anything, Stu. But yeah, a lot of people are feeling it today. I mean, they're killing the weekends, aren't they, Man United, right now? They're absolutely destroying our weekends. It's like, God, why are we bothering turning the freaking TV on or turning up to the stadiums right now when we know we're literally just doing it blind because we love the club? And that's what we are as a supporter. But you know that these players, and games like today actually, go a long way in just reminding the fan base that the Europa League is just that big plaster. The big band-aid going over that gaping cut, which is pissing out blood everywhere. Which is hopefully that's the start of the open heart surgery that Ralph was talking about. But at the moment, we're just trying to cover it up. No, it doesn't need working on. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. There's another plaster. I know that's how it just keeps on going and going and going through the years. And until one point, it's like somebody comes in and goes, "What are you doing? Stop right now and let's sort this out properly." And we're hoping that is this new recruitment team and Manchester United moving forward. I think it will be a positive transfer window going in. Everything that I've been told and everything that's bubbling up and what we've read and spoken about here on FUTV looks positive for United, but we will see, won't we? It's always a tough one, especially if we finish on a low. I said before, can you imagine we lost to Chelsea on the Friday night? We didn't win the final. Oh, even worst case scenario. I don't even want to say this, but can you imagine? United lost to Chelsea on the Friday night. Then we got Spurs in the final. Lost the fourth game of the season to Spurs, and it ruined our chances of being in the Champions League to Spurs. And then we lost to Aston Villa with Marcus Rashford sat in the stand in his Aston Villa tracksuit on the end of the season. Oh, is that not the worst end to a season ever? I'm only saying that just so it's out of the way and doesn't happen. And United end up spoiling the party for Villa and Chelsea, and we win the Europa League. There you go. I'm back. I'm back in the room again, everybody. God, don't even think like that again. My God, every single possibility is there. And I think the fear for Man United fans is that the worst case scenario is probably the more likely one. They cannot bring themselves to think positively about United because they know what's coming every weekend. We have to give up the Premier League. We literally are trying to gift that 15th and 16th spot to somebody right now, but nobody's taking it. That's how bad some of the teams are down there. Literally Spurs and West Ham today, like scrapping out a draw as well. Honestly, it's shit, isn't it? It is. It's awful. And we've still got to play West Ham as well. If West Ham beat us at Old Trafford, I won't know where to turn. I won't know what to say, do anything. I really won't. Bad weekends always come after a good Europa League, it seems, these days, don't they? Sad, innit? We will be back, though. Don't worry. Amram can't coach his way out of a paper bag, says Andrew. Stu, they have me depressed today. Sunday ruined. Horrible on Thursday. Didn't we win 3-0, dude? Oh, who's that talking to? Someone's saying that we weren't that good on Thursday. Come on. Look, United are going to win on Thursday. And we're going to be in the final. And we'll have something to look forward to going into the last week of the season at least. It keeps us alive. Let's get all of the negativity out today. Let's get it all out of our system. And we go again. God, sound like one of the players now. We go again in the next game, which is Bilbao Thursday night. And that's what everything is leading to right now. But look, I mean, whichever way this season ends up, it's still going to get that open heart surgery this summer. I just feel like one way it's going to definitely get done, and the other way it's not. And that is without European football. I think Manchester United get a lot more out of the summer, weirdly. I just got that feeling, I do, because it's going to force their hand where they could cover it up if we've got Champions League. And that's the test for Inos and this new structure. If we get Champions League, are they going to move away from that original plan? That is your news and everything up to date for a day. What a crazy day of content it's been. We tried to start off positive. We tried to start off on the right foot, and Manchester United tripped us up again in the Premier League. Oh, no win in 5 for Manchester United in the Prem. Worst league in the league. Worst form in the league, apart from Southampton, by 1 point. Shit. But we move on to the Europa League, where we're excellent. And that's what we've got to look forward to this week, at least, anyway. Well, that's your news, completely up to date. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the show. Enjoy what's left of your Sunday evening. Don't forget, it is a bank holiday tomorrow. And at least we've got that to recover. We don't have to go to work and be miserable in front of all of your work colleagues, at least. It is just a bank holiday. And you can relax in the morning. I'll be back at 8 o'clock, though, so make sure you're tuned in. The work doesn't stop. The content doesn't stop there. Jam-packed full of everything that has come from the back end of today and all the news overnight as well. Expecting updates from Romano very, very soon. And so we'll probably have that covered going into tomorrow morning as well. Until then, thank you, everybody. See you all later. Have a fantastic evening. Sorry the Reds let us down again, but look, I'm always here to cheer you up a little bit. Try to, anyway. Please pop a like on the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And thank you, everybody, for what has been a very, very busy day. Cheers.